Do you believe in fortune tellers? Do you believe that your destiny can be foretold? That your future can be laid out before you like a deck of cards or a crystal ball waiting to be read? Join us on this journey into the unknown, and discover whether you have the courage to face your fate head-on. Are you ready to uncover the secrets of the universe and embrace your destiny, or will you cower in fear and shy away from the truth? Welcome to Eerie Encounters and Hauntings. We hope you're ready for this spine-tingling story that was shared with us by someone who wants to remain anonymous. This story is entitled Returning Home. Ava would leave her two small sons in the care of a babysitter. She would then ride the bus to the city's poorest neighborhood. She does this every Tuesday. She would then enter a dingy apartment complex, climb 10 floors, and rap on a worn wooden door. After waiting for a minute or two, the door would open. A frail, elderly woman in her late 80s who is dressed in a ragged gypsy outfit and wearing a bright scarf over her head would appear. With a thick Eastern European accent, the old woman would welcome Ava inside with a warm greeting. Ava would enter the little flat, piled high with dusty bottles and books. She would also remove her coat, and settle into a seat at the tiny table in the center of the room. The gypsy woman would then make her way slowly to a big cabinet in the corner, whose doors usually made a creaking sound whenever she opened them. She would take out a giant glass sphere and place it on top of a red velvet pillow. She'd set the ball on the desk and then put her entire focus on it. By this time, Ava had figured out that she was expected to be silent. In fact, she would just have to listen to the woman speak. The elderly lady would stare into the crystal ball for several minutes at a time, muttering something that seemed to be in a foreign language that Ava couldn't understand. As the woman finished her chant, Ava could see a flash of light within the crystal ball, and this seems to be reflected in the old woman's eyes. Then, she would finally get the news she had been waiting for. The old woman would tell her that she saw Ethan in the crystal ball. Ethan is Ava's husband and he is currently serving in the armed forces overseas. Ava would then ask the old woman how Ethan was. The old woman would usually reply that Ethan wants to go home and be with Ava and their children. He wants to desperately be back home with them and he will be able to do so one day. Ava would then ask that it would be safe to assume that her husband would not die on the battlefield. The old woman would reassure her that Ethan would outlive his family. For some people, those words would make them feel scared. But for Ava, those words meant that Ethan would be living a really long life. When their session ended, the elderly lady would put away her crystal ball, and Ava would hand over some money as payment. She would then go back home to her twins, Oliver and Liam. She would pay the babysitter for her services and then she would tuck the twins to bed. This became the pattern for many months. However, one week, something different happened. The old woman saw something different than usual when she looked in her crystal ball. She blinked her eyes as if trying to focus on something far away and blurry. She started to say something about Ethan. But she soon stopped herself. Ava prodded the old woman to continue what she was saying. The old woman then said that Ethan would be going back to his family in a few days. Ava was ecstatic. This was something that she had long wanted to know. She had to ask the old woman again if she was sure that Ethan would be home in just days. The elderly lady confirmed this with a nod. With this knowledge, Ava spent the following few days preparing for Ethan's homecoming. She got a fresh haircut, stocked the fridge, and scrubbed the floors. She wanted everything to be spick and span. She then took her sons Oliver and Liam to the bath after a trip to the salon so that they could look presentable for their dad. They made a lot of soap bubbles and splashed each other as the water from the faucet filled the tub. Ava turned her back on them to examine her new hairstyle in the mirror. She was caught by surprise when she heard the doorbell. She was so excited. That must be Ethan. She yelled her husband's name and quickly rushed out of the bathroom, and went down the stairs that led to the front door. However, she was still in the heels she had on when she went to the salon. Her left heel broke off because the shoes were not made for running. That caused her to fall down the stairs. She landed on her head with a very loud thump and her neck snapped. The doorbell rang once more, but Ava was already too far gone to respond. The person ringing the doorbell was not Ethan. In fact, it was a salesman. He stood there at the door waiting for someone to answer, but he soon concluded that no one was home and left. A few days later, Ava's teenage babysitter showed up, presuming she was needed because she had been coming every Tuesday for the past few months. She was surprised when no one answered the doorbell, but luckily the door was unlocked, so she entered the home. She was wearing sandals at that time, and she was surprised when she felt water soaking through her foot where her feet got wet. Why was the floor this wet? She yelled Ava's name. Soon, she discovered something that made her shiver. Ava was lying lifeless in the pool of water created by the rivulets that were slowly but surely making their way down the stairs. The babysitter followed the source of water and was filled with dread. She quickly realized where the water must be coming from, and a wave of terror overcame her. She then yelled the twins' names. Quickly, she sprinted up the damp stairs. She found the two toddlers dead inside the overflowing tub, and she ran screaming. She quickly alerted law enforcement, and they informed Ethan's military superiors. They allowed Ethan to return home to attend the funerals of his family. The old woman had been correct. Within days, Ethan was back at home, and he survived long enough to lay his family to rest. He outlived them. He sorely missed his family. Desperate, he returned to the battlefield, and his sadness brought him to walk on a landmine, killing himself in the process. And there you have it, folks. Whether you believe in fortune telling or not, it's always fascinating to explore the unknown. Who knows? Maybe one day you'll find yourself seeking guidance from a fortune teller. But until then, keep an open mind and never stop exploring the mysteries of the universe. If you've enjoyed this story of the supernatural, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more hair-raising stories like this. We're always on the hunt for new bone-chilling tales, so if you have any personal experiences like this, we would love to hear from you in the comments below. And if you want to share your story about the supernatural and have it featured in our channel, feel free to shoot us an email. By sharing our experiences, we can all learn and grow together in our understanding of the unknown. Thanks for watching, and we can't wait to share more spine-tingling tales with you. We'll see you in the next video.